Today I'm going to show you all the classics that I own. I think it's all the classics I own. I'm pretty sure these are all my classics. So disclaimer, I'm not going to worry too much about the synopsis just because they're classics. If you want to know a synopsis, just look them up. They're well known, so it shouldn't be difficult to find one. So let's get started. My first book is The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and Other Stories by Robert Louis Stevenson. Can I just mention how gorgeous this is? It's the Barnes & Noble Classics edition, but it's just gorgeous and shiny and beautiful. I read this like a year ago maybe. It was so good. My next books are a few William Shakespeare plays. They are The Merchant of Venice, Henry IV Part 1, As You Like It, and Antony and Cleopatra. I have read only The Merchant of Venice, and honestly I wouldn't really call it reading because I didn't understand it and I just kind of skimmed through it. It has a study guide in the back, which honestly I probably should have read because I did not understand what happened. And then I have not read As You Like It, Antony and Cleopatra, or Henry IV Part 1. I'll have to look up synopses and like study materials because I didn't understand Merchant of Venice. The pages smell really good though. Then I have A Little Princess by Frances Hodgson Burnett. I read this a few months ago, maybe like 4 months ago, and I really enjoyed it. She stays positive the entire time. I strive to be like Sarah. She's the best. I listened to it over audiobook, and honestly, I'd recommend that. As pretty as this book is, I'd say for the first reading, read it by audiobook because the narrator was so good. Next, I have two Sherlock Holmes stories. One of them is just The Hound of the Baskervilles, and the other one is a collection of stories. I got this from the book cart at my school. You've heard all about the book cart. This one was given to me by the friend who gives like half her books to me. I love Sherlock Holmes. I love a good detective story. These were really good. Probably 5 out of 5 stars if I had been rating books when I read them. They're really good. Then I have Emma by Jane Austen. I am like halfway done. I watched the BBC TV series and that's how I'm familiar with the story. Jane Austen was one of my favorite writers, even though I haven't necessarily read most of her stuff. So I have this, also given to me by Ashkapat. I have fairy tales by the Brothers Grimm and Hans Christian Andersen by Puffin Classics. The covers are gorgeous. And there's just an assortment of fairy tales, and they're great, they're entertaining. They're super easy to read though, so it's not like you'll be struggling to understand the story. My next book is Heidi by Joanna Spyri. I have read it before when I was younger, like a lot of these classics, but I don't recall very much, and it's another Puffin and Bloom classic. I have Withering Heights and Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte and Emily Bronte. I don't know how I'm gonna read this whole thing. I'm good with big books, but it's only 506 pages. It just looks, it's heavy, but again, gorgeous cover. It's from Barnes & Noble. They have great books. Jane Eyre. And then Withering Heights is, honestly, I don't know what it's about. The only name I know is Heathcliff. I think he's the love interest, so we'll see. It's really old. I got it at a bookstore, no, at an antique shop near me, and it's really pretty. My next book is The Yearling by Marjorie Kinnan Rawlings. It is a classic, and that's all I know. I don't know plot, I don't know characters. Evidently it's about a family. So this book is The Jungle Book by Rudyard Kipling. Basically, very well-known book. I haven't actually read it. Look at these drawings. This book is super old. It smells good. Also, look at these greened end pages. That's The Jungle Book. Next I have Alice's Adventures in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. I got this from Half Price Books. It is very modern art-y. The font's really nice. That neon green. And it's floppy. When you open it, it lays flat. How nice is that? Then I have Anne of Green Gables by L.M. Montgomery. It's a Canadian classic, and it is the Puffin and Bloom edition. Again, gorgeous cover. I don't think I have any ugly classics. Then I have The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. This is J.R.R. Tolkien's original cover design. It's so pretty. And that sound. Am I the only one who likes that sound? It's just satisfying. So this is the prequel to the Lord of the Rings series. I don't own that series, but this is my first step to owning it. It's got a beautiful map. I used this map. It was an inspiration for one of my outfits in my literary looks video. I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan, so glad to own this. My next book is The Cruise of the Cachalot by Frank Buehlin. I don't know what this is about. Evidently it's a classic because it's great illustrated classics, but I've never heard of it. So I don't really know what I'm getting into here. My next book are Mother Goose nursery rhymes by whoever wrote them. And this is old. I get nervous opening it. It smells really nice. But this is just like classic nursery rhymes. My next book is the Barnes & Noble edition of Tom Sawyer by Mark Twain. It's, again, a really shiny version. And it's got sprayed pages and marbled end papers. It is really hard to open though. I get nervous. Really pretty, again. My next book is Edgar Allan Poe's Tales of Terror. Really, it's just a collection of Edgar Allan Poe's short stories. I just finished The Cask of Amontillado. This is my favorite book, and it is The Phantom of the Opera by Gaston Leroux. I don't know how to pronounce that. I don't speak French. Gaston Leroux. Gaston Leroux. That's probably how you pronounce it. First of all, listen to the musical, because that is why I liked this. The musical is amazing. It's my favorite musical, and that's why this is therefore my favorite book. Just read it. It's so good, and it doesn't get as much hype as it deserves. I forgot one of the Shakespeare plays, and it is Hamlet. I don't really know the premise of this. I feel like there's a lot of death in this. This book though is scandalous. I've had to put like post-it notes on the artwork where it gets like overly sexual and stuff. I'm gonna try to get through it quickly because I need to get it out of my room. It's a very sketchy book. Let's start with On the Nature of the Universe by Lucretius. The only way I know this is a classic is because it says Penguin Classics. I've not heard of this before. Who is Lucretius? I don't even know. So he basically just wrote about the world, science at the time. I just think it's kind of interesting to read people's scientific ideas, even though I'm probably not going to agree. I'd like to open myself up to stuff like that. I have probably my second favorite book, and that is Dracula by Bram Stoker. Okay, I feel like this is more pronounced German than anything else, but Bram Stoker seems a little bit better than Bram Stoker. So Dracula is the original story behind the vampire. It is a story about Dracula, but it's also a lot about the band of people who come together to defeat him. Oh, it's so good. It's written as a series of letters and diaries. So it's like different media, all compiled by Mina, and you watch her compile it as well. So I highly, highly recommend this book. Ah, that was heavy. This one is Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. It's the story of the sisters. It's really interesting because I have a sister, but we're not as close as they are in this book. Yeah, Puffin and Bloom edition. I can't get enough of these. And also, when my parents ordered it for me, it came with this bookmark with the artwork on it and a quote from the back. I love the sound of books. The next books I have are The Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis. They're just a series of stories about the land of Narnia and with different people. If you haven't read these, you are missing out. You need to read them. 2 books left. Okay, I'm going to do them together because I don't want to spend more time on this. And they are Tender as the Night by F. Scott Fitzgerald and Charlotte's Web by E.B. White. This one I got from the book cart, this one from my mom. I have no idea what this one's about. This is mostly about Wilbur and Charlotte and just their time on the farm and how Charlotte helps Wilbur. So that's everything. I'm sorry if my voice got really quiet, but my family came home and they don't know I do YouTube. So, sorry. I hope you enjoyed the video. It's fine, whatever. I'm almost done. Now it's done. Please write to me in the comments about any classics that you think I am definitely missing, and also any classics that you own that are similar to mine. And honestly, write me an entire list. I love that. I hope you enjoyed the video, and you'll see me in my next video. Because I can't see you, I'm talking to a camera. Ciao!